Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do is import your media. I'm just going to go ahead and grab some that I've been doing. That one's kind of small. And then I'm going to just delete my audio tracks because I don't need them. There's only one. There we go. And then I'm just going to pick sort of a point. Okay, let's say... Okay, the boat, right? Let's say I want to track the boat from like this point to... That's nice. 30 seconds of boat. And let's say I want to like put like subtitles of like, I don't know, my character talking or something. So I'm going to have them over the top of his head right there. So we're going to hop into Fusion. Make sure I'm at the start. And then mine might look a bit different to yours, that's fine. The main thing you want to make sure you have is this like bit at the bottom here with the nodes. If you can't see that, then click this button at the top here, and it should pop up. And then we're going to click on Media in 1, Shift Space, and then the planar tracker. And then I'm going to zoom in and let's say I want to follow my character's head. So I'm going to do a little polygon around there, and then click Set. Make sure it's unsteady, and then hybrid point, and then translation, and then click that button, and most of the time it works. Sometimes it's a bit dodgy, but most of the time it works pretty well. When you click that button, it just goes forward. It's going to take a bit longer because I'm recording with OBS, so my RAM is being used up. Lol. So it's mostly done. It's done sort of most of it. It's obviously not perfect. You can see at the end here, it's like tried to track onto the boat there. That's fine. We can fix that. But it's sort of mostly done everything as well as it can. And then what I'm going to do is click off of the tracker. So we're just in like a normal, we're not highlighting anything in the node tab. Shift space. I'm going to grab a text plus, let's say, and then subtitle. Just give that some shading. So, and then we want to have that come into a merge, right? So that it comes into the output. So that that basically merges the output from this into the text, which goes here, right? So then everything comes into the media out tab. If you can't see the subtitles at this point, it might be because you're looking at the wrong thing. So you want to make sure, if you see where the media output thing is here, you want to make sure that this like little thing has a white dot here, because that is like the what you're seeing on the two halves of your screen here. So I usually have the left side disabled because I haven't found like a use for it yet. But you want to make sure you have at least one of the sides on so that you can see what you're looking at. I usually just leave the right side on though because that's the default. Okay. So now obviously we just have the text in the middle the whole time. And what we're going to do is click on the planar tracker here and then create planar transform. And that will create a new node down here, which is basically like a transformation that it like follows where the planar tracker went. So I'm going to run the text node into the planar transform and then put it into the merge. And then the text is going to kind of move with it, and it might still be a bit off, but you can see that it's sort of roughly following it now. And obviously it's not centered on my head. So what I want to do sort of before it starts following the transformation is put my own transformation on it. I think you can just move the text by itself, but I like to put a transform node in, just, I don't know why. I don't know why, but I do. So I'm just going to pop that above my head, wherever, because it'll stay the same. And then it mostly follows right here, as you can see. And there might be a few bits where it goes off, like there. But the way we're going to fix that is we come to my transform tab, and then I'm just going to pop a keyframe in there, and then move over to where it comes off, and then put it back on. And then that should like mostly, you know, if it still looks dodgy, you can just sort of manually do it a little bit. And then now we've reached the end of the planar transform. So at that point, you can either do it manually or cut it or make another planar transform or whatever, just do this again. But that's pretty much the basics of it. If you want to do the highlighting thing, that will be slightly different. So let's get rid of the text. So this took me so long to figure out, okay, because it's so complicated for literally no reason. So we've got our basic thing here, right? The media in with the tracker going into the merge, that's fine. So if I want to highlight my character here, I'm going to add a ellipse. Let's say I want it in a circle, right? I'm just going to make it, it's not attached to anything right now, as you can see, but I'm just going to make it sort of on top of my character's head, and then also make it smaller, let's say 0.1, is that good? Yeah. So then that's roughly going to be around my character, right? And then what I do is I go shift space, I add a background, right? And then the background is going to be black, right? So I'm going to put that into the merge tab, and now you can see in the media out, the background has gone on top of it. If the background goes underneath it, then click on the merge tab and change the operator to either under or over, because that basically decides which one of these two is on top. And the background, I'm going to put that on like 0.3, right? So we've got like a dark overlay over the entire screen now. As you can see, the ellipse is going to go into the background, and then we're going to go ahead and click invert on the ellipse. So now there's like one circle of the background that is completely clear, but the rest of it's dark, right? And obviously the ellipse isn't moving right now. We're still on the same spot the whole time. So the way we're going to fix that is click create planar transform again. So we have the transformation node, and then you can run the background into the transform. The problem with this is that now the whole background is moving with the transformation. I'm just going to pop that on top of the head to make sure that's stationary. So it's following my character, and that's fine, but you can see we've got all these edges outside of where the background is. The way that I fixed this, which is a bit like, you know, I don't know if it's really the best way of doing it, but the way that I fix this is, let's say I want my ellipse to be 0.1 in the final thing, right? I'm going to halve that. I'm going to make it 0.05 and 0.05. And then we're going to go to the background, and we're going to make that, if we add like a transform node in between the background and the planar transform, in between the background and the planar transform, and then the transform node is going to double the size. We're going to put it on 2. And then just make sure that the ellipse is on top of the face, on top of the head, roughly. And then hopefully you've got an ellipse that follows it without any of the weird background stuff, right? If I just go to the, it's lagging because I'm recording in OBS, but it does now follow it roughly. Obviously we would need to fix it at the end there, but it now mostly works good. I don't know if there's a more efficient way of doing this. This is the easiest way I've found. So, I mean, yeah, hopefully that works for you.